Hello, I'm Bjorn, movie archaeologist, and welcome back to the Temple of Movie Reviews. This temple guardian beast animal creature has broken into the temple and decided to be a nuisance, and he's not getting out of the video. So he's just gonna be in this one. I was digging down in the temple, and I stumbled upon a portal. And this portal, as you can see, took me to Montana, directly from the Temple Movie Reviews to Montana, where this beast was found. Ow, just eating my whole hand there. And as you can see, Montana is very beautiful. But you're not going to actually get to see that gorgeous vista, that beautiful shot of Montana. That's God. That shot of Montana is that comfortable. I mean, how am I supposed to review the movie with this happening back here? That beautiful shot of Montana, you're not going to get to see it much. It's gone now. As you can see, we're now inside of a bland, boring house. I hope you enjoy this bland, boring house behind me. This is unrelated to the movie, guys, I swear. Okay, so the artifact is Wolfman right here, and I have a lot to say about Wolfman. I'm going to get it out of the way right now. I didn't like this movie very much. There were some good ideas, some stuff in here that some people may enjoy. I don't know. It didn't work for me at all. But I found this movie kind of amusing. I got a lot of laughs out of it, but I wasn't actually laughing because everyone else was like into the movie. So maybe I'm alone and thinking this movie was kind of bad. We'll see. Time will tell. As of recording this, there are no reviews or Rotten Tomatoes or anything posted for this thing. I could be completely in the minority, and I wouldn't know. But I'm not backing down on my opinion on this movie. I'm going to fight tooth and nail for it. So, what don't I like about this movie? I've said this to my friend when I was describing it to him. You know that, like, I think it's a Progressive commercial where there's a guy and they're running from a chainsaw guy, and they're like, hey, let's hide behind the chainsaws. And, the joke is, oh, haha, horror movie characters behave in a really, really stupid way. Do I have to elaborate? That was this whole movie. I don't normally get pulled out of a movie by characters making stupid decisions. I understand. Characters make dumb decisions in movies. But never have I seen characters make so many consistently stupid decisions and like nonsensical decisions, and that's only like part of the movie's problem. But like, okay, for example, spoilers for the Wolfman. I don't recommend seeing this. Just watch this review, frankly. I'm sorry to the people who made it. I think he made Invisible Man. That was a really good movie. I actually like that movie. So I don't know, this one missed for me. But anyway, in the Wolfman, the movie is obviously about someone transforming into a werewolf. That might surprise you. And if you've seen the movie and didn't know the name of it, you might not even realize it was a werewolf. We'll get into that later. But the trailer implies this is a movie about a guy getting infested with the disease and slowly succumbing to it in a house with his family. And yes, that is what the movie's about, but not really where its focus is, even though it kind of should be. They kind of gloss over that a lot. And there's some cool stuff with that, but not a lot of it. Really, though, there are some moments in this movie that are baffling. For example, about the halfway point of this movie, her husband he looks like a fucking werewolf. He's got claws, his face is all like pale, and like he's got teeth, his jaw is out. They've seen the werewolf running around. They know he was scratched. You would assume these characters could put the very obvious 2 and 2 together and realize what's happened here. This man is becoming the monster, right? He knocks on the fucking door after they sent him outside to fight another werewolf. And they let him in the house again. That happens twice. The man is infected with some kind of horrible disease. He keeps telling his wife that he's dying. He looks like death. And they're sitting there holding his hand. They bring their young child in to just touch this guy. He's infected. This man is diseased. What the fuck? And then they keep doing it. They keep having this little girl come in here and touch her dad, hang around her dad. The end of the movie, the werewolf tried to kill them for like 15 minutes. Like their husband and father, who's now werewolf monster man, chases them around. And they shoot him right after he tries to kill them. And again, they understand, 100% understand at this point, that the werewolf disease is spread by a blood contact. And he's still alive. And the little girl and the mom hold his hand as he dies. He's still a fucking werewolf. This was like, I was like this in the theater, like, what are you doing? Other stupid things that the characters do. They tried to run outside and start a car. Which wouldn't necessarily be a stupid idea, except she knew she had to charge the battery in the car because she brings a battery with her, a battery charger with her. The car is like a mile down a hill in a barn, and the werewolf is right outside. They just saw it right outside, and they're like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. Oh, and the stupidest fucking thing they do is they lock the door to the house back. They leave the house to run to the car, and they lock the door behind them so that when they have to run back into the house after they inevitably fail to get the car to start, they have to struggle to get the key in the door. I was just like... And it's not like they're stupid and they're written to be stupid. These are supposed to be very intelligent people, something we'll get back to later. We're going to put a pin in that. This is a long review. And they keep making the stupidest fucking decisions that make me question their stupidity. And they have a little girl, and they're just putting her in danger for no reason. The werewolf is also really stupid. There's like glass windows all over this house, and he doesn't come in through them until the very end of the movie when the plot needs him to, and he just does. Why didn't the werewolf do that from the beginning? Why did the werewolf just come in through those windows? They're right there. He's looking around the house for a way in. The window is right fucking there. Just go in the window, werewolf. You got this. I would be 10 times the werewolf this guy was. If I was the werewolf, I would have killed these guys. So let's talk about the characters. Because I don't know if it was the writing, the performance, the directing. I think it may have been the direction that the actress was given. This character, the female lead, the male character is fine. He's a little boring, but whatever. The female lead though is all the fuck over the place. I mean, holy shit. So right off the bat, they make the baffling choice in a movie about a husband being corrupted to make them like very cold to each other. I think this is a silly choice for multiple reasons. I get no chemistry between the male and the female lead, like, at all. They seem like they hate each other, basically, every time they're on screen together. She seems like a cold monster, for lack of a better word. She's more frightening to me than the werewolf. She's just a completely cold, boring, unlikable person, and she's, like, actively putting her career before her daughter. And these could be, like, character conflicts that they're exploring, but they never really explore it or challenge her. If anything, the movie's just like, yeah, she's right, they shouldn't have gone to the woods to have a family vacation. They all fucking die. But they don't die, you know what I mean. But so what's really strange is the woman, she seems like she doesn't like her husband at the beginning of the movie, when you should invert that. She should be deeply in love, they should be happy, so that when he starts to become scary, you can kind of see that shift. But instead, she almost seems to like him more as a werewolf. I don't know what the deal with the performance is. And also, what she is afraid of is completely out of whack, man. So, she acts like her husband is like, I feel like there's scenes cut. She keeps talking about how her husband isn't speaking English and how he's acting strange, but we never see that. We cut from him, like, starting to get sick to her radio in, like he's acting really weird. And, like, when he's just now getting sick, like, the guy's just sweating a little bit. He has a little bit of a fever. She's acting terrified of him. Yet, when he's, like, a full fucking monster, man, she isn't afraid of him at all. She's just holding hands with him. She's walking around him. It's like they directed her to act like he was terrifying at the wrong time. It's so weird, and I couldn't help but notice it through the whole movie. One of my personal favorite scenes is they pull up. If you, like, look at this movie, the people who wrote this movie, I think they think hunters are scary. I don't know why they think that. Like, the opening of this movie is just a dad, and, I mean, he makes his son, like, wakes up his son and makes him do up his bed, and he's maybe a little intense, but he's never outright mean to his son. He's actually kind of a nice dad. From what I saw, he's a little intense. He's out in the woods. His son almost touches a poisonous mushroom, and he's like, don't ever do that. But he doesn't hurt the kid. He doesn't hit the kid. He just, like, talks sternly to him. And I think they're expecting us to think he's abusive because of some of the dialogue that's given later in the movie from things like, yeah, I was scared of my dad. I had to flee. But the dad doesn't come off as scary at all. If anything, he protects his son and teaches him how to like survive out in the woods. He's like lives out in the woods. He's hunting the werewolf to protect his son. He comes off great, but because he's a hunter, man, he's about to shoot a deer. I think we're supposed to not like him. That was my interpretation of the movie anyway. So later in the movie, when they're first arriving to the spooky woods, they pull up to a gate they think is the right gate to their dad's old house, but it turns out they're on someone else's property. So that guy is in a deer blind with a rifle, and he waves and comes up to the door, and he's like, hey, you should be careful out here. And it's not like threatening. The way he delivers the dialogue, it's not like he's frightening at all. He's very friendly. He was just hunting, probably to eat. A lot of people out in Montana hunt and eat what they kill. Very normal guy. He offers to take them to the house, and he actually knew the main character, the male lead, from when they were kids. So it's like he knows the family, he's everything. But the wife acts mortified of this guy, who is nothing but nice to them. He's literally nice to them the whole way through. There's nothing creepy about him at all. But I think the director thinks he's scary because he has a hunting rifle and he was hunting. Because all the characters are like, and the guy's just like, oh yeah, it's a tough lifestyle out here. It's you have to be really tough to live out here. But and she's like, are you saying I'm not tough? The female lead is like, are you saying I'm not tough? He's like, no, I'm just saying, like, you're fortunate. I wish I could live in the big city like y'all. You guys have a lot of opportunities out there. This is so nice. He's like nice to the kid. He ends up dying immediately after that when he gets killed by the werewolf trying to reach his gun to save them. But the wife acts more afraid of this random fucking hunter in the truck than she does the werewolf husband at certain points in the movie. I mean, at the very end, when he's like full on trying to kill her, she screams and acts afraid. But when he's like in the bed, she's just like, oh, honey, oh, just like almost like not afraid of him at all. It's so weird. It's so backwards. It's like they gave her wrong direction on how to behave. Yeah, I don't know. The female character, I just found her really hard to believe. The daughter is like, she should be terrified, but she's acting like all happy, like, oh, mommy, we have to go back for daddy. Daddy is a fucking monster. You should be scared. A little girl would be terrified. It's just not believable. It's not believable at all. Now, let me get to my largest complaint with this movie. For a movie called The Wolfman, this werewolf does not look anything like a werewolf. It has no similarities with a werewolf. They seem to imply that it's some sort of Native American werewolf monster. But the deal is, right, werewolves come from Europe. I'm like almost certain, right? Maybe they're just reinterpreting. That's kind of a nitpick. But beyond that, the design on this werewolf is truly dreadful. It's a guy. It's just a dude. He's a little hairy. He has tiny little claws coming out of his fingers. He has tiny little canines, and his jaw is like this. And his nose is maybe a little flatter. It looks like a crackhead. There's no way to sugarcoat it. They should have called it the Meth Man, this movie. He looks like a crackhead. He acts like a crackhead. He's not scary at all. He doesn't look like a wolf. I don't get wolf off him at all. He does these weird little growling sound effects. I don't get wolf off him. I get crackhead, which is fine. Like you could make a horror movie set in California. And you could call it the crackhead, and it might be kind of scary. But it's not the Wolfman. He doesn't look like a wolf. The design is actually terrible. I think that's kind of undeniable. And it loses some of the fear factor. Like, his jaws don't, like, extend. Like, he can't really bite you. He just, like his jaws, his claws, maybe you could do something. I don't know. I don't like the design of the werewolf at all. It's not nearly wolfish enough. And so the, like, transformations aren't, like, as horrific as I think they could be. There's a really silly scene where he, like, randomly starts eating his own hand where a cut is for no reason. He's just like, nom, 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 nom. And the wife is like, oh. Anyway, she lets him walk around and talk to the little girl and put his hands on the little girl after that. I'm not kidding. A werewolf doesn't have to be completely wolfish, but, like, I personally like my werewolves, like, ripped. Like, big flowing muscles and, like, sweat beating down his hairy chest, and, like, his abs are, like, shredded, and he's kind of monstrous. Like, you don't know if he's gonna ravage you or sorry guys, I went a little off topic there. It's a very, very bizarre movie. Yeah, not good, not scary. I didn't find it scary. There's one good jump scare where he's in the corner of the frame behind the little girl, but it was very predictable. The whole plot was very predictable. There's a twist. I won't spoil it, but, like, It's the most obvious twist in the world. And the worst part is I really like the first 15 minutes or so with the dad and the son flashback hunting in the woods, and the werewolf is like hunting them. It's actually, the wolf is actually kind of frightening in that scene. And I almost think that would have made a better plot. Like this kid and his dad in the woods. And maybe his dad gets infected and he's trying to protect the kid, but he can't control himself, if you really want to go for that angle. It just feels like a big missed opportunity. And as I said, I like Invisible Man. I like his previous work, but this is just a miss. I think the acting is kind of bad a lot, or just mismatched. The kid actor is not great, but it's a kid actor. I don't know. I love horror movies. I didn't find this to be scary. I found this to be just laughably bad at times. And just like the characters were acting in such a nonsensical way. Like one final example. After the whole car sequence where they nonsensically go out to the car, the transforming husband, her kid, and their daughter climb on top of a plastic greenhouse. It's like a domed greenhouse. And the werewolf is on the inside going, "Arr, arr, arr," up at them. You know, he looks like a crackhead. And yeah, so the kids are on top of the plastic, and the kid just keeps walking away from the metal supports and onto the plastic in the center. And at one point, the kid literally crawls over where the wolf is actively scratching like this, and the plastic is all torn, and it's plastic, and it's away from the metal frames. And she just crawls onto it for no reason and falls through. Oh no, the wolf is gonna get her. You're like, why? Why are the mother telling her to cross? Why is the kid crossing? Why is anyone doing this? There's no reason for them to move at this point. The dad winds up killing the werewolf with his bare teeth, and they're just like, all right, come on in the house again. He starts turning evil. They kick him out of the house. He comes in through the window. I don't know, man. It's all very odd. Yeah, I didn't care for this movie. All the characters are too stupid to be believable. The stakes are not there because your characters are acting so dumb they should just die. They should die instantly. The fact that they're not dead makes me angry. They keep getting saved by Deus Ex Machina. It's like at one point the werewolf steps on a bear trap that she didn't even set. Like if they'd shown her setting the bear trap as like a trap, maybe she did and I somehow missed it, but I don't remember her doing it. Yeah, I feel like there's one other thing I want to talk about, but I can't remember what it is. I didn't think this movie was very good. The werewolf just can die by just getting shot. It just gets shot and it dies like a normal human. How is this scary? One person carrying a handgun and this whole movie would have just been over. I don't know. Oh well. Yeah, that's it. I'm giving this artifact like a 4 out of 10, maybe a 3 out of 10. It just didn't do it for me. I don't know how other people are going to feel about it. I didn't like this movie. I thought all the characters were stupid. I thought the acting was kind of all over the place, and everyone was just acting very bizarrely. It felt like there was just a complete misfire in like direction. I don't know, like they were giving them the wrong character directions for what they were doing. Anyway, that's all. I've been Bjorn, movie archaeologist man. This is a long ass review. I'm sorry for that. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye bye.